Well, hello, my fellow Veemer, and welcome to Veeme, aka Video Marketing Made Easy. Now, we've been told by people who are new to creating videos that it's really helpful to hear about how we screwed up, and we've screwed up a lot. So we plan to share these stories, kind of like how we shared the top 5 life lessons, but more specific about our horror stories. Hopefully you can learn some things from our mistakes so that you don't have to make them, and also maybe find some comfort that screw-ups are all part of video making and that we all grow through them. We've screwed up so much, we're going to actually group the stories. So today we're going to be talking about how we screwed up in regards to audio. Now, if you've had screw-ups in the past with audio, or you're worried that you're going to screw up with your audio, type in the comment section below, "What?" I don't know why I want you to type that in there, but I think it'd be funny. So let's get into some of the more memorable screw-ups that we've had when it comes to audio. Now, when Jamie and I shoot, sometimes we like to shoot in slow-mo for when we're doing B-roll footage. Now, in order to do that, you have to set the camera to slow motion recording. And in this particular shoot, we were shooting some B-roll first, and I was shooting things in slow-mo with a super slow, epic scenes. And then it was time to sit down and interview our subjects. The problem is, I left the camera still in slow-mo recording. When Jamie went to edit the video, we had good audio because we record all of our interviews and audio to a separate external audio recorder. But unfortunately, the audio did not match the video because the video was in slow motion. So the person's like, and sounds going, "I am really excited to talk to you today." While it was still usable, Jamie had to go through a hell of a time to edit that thing because she had to speed up the video and try to sync it perfectly with the audio. And it just was such a horrible time for her. And I just had to sit there and say, sorry. What we learned from that is to always double check before we start shooting, because there have been other times, conversely, where I thought I was shooting in slow-mo and I was shooting in regular speed. And so now before we start shooting, we always kind of go back and forth with each other to double check. Jamie will say, like, "Are you set in regular speed or are you set in slow-mo?" We double check each other and try our best to make sure that everything is being done correctly. Another example of us screwing up our audio was when we were interviewing the owner of a company. So this was a video for a professional organization, and we were interviewing different people. There's testimonials from customers and workers, but one of the most important interviews of the video was, of course, the owner of the company. And the interview went great, and he was comfortable, and he was talking from the heart. And at the end, he was so complimentary of the process. He was saying, "I was so nervous to do this, but you guys made it so easy. That was the best, interview experience I've ever had." And we're like, "Yeah, awesome. We're great. We know it." And then we went to the editing process, and Jamie looked at it and was like, "Where's the audio?" Because, as I mentioned, we record our audio in a separate external audio recorder. So while the camera has a built-in microphone, we don't use that audio because it's a really terrible microphone. We have lav mics that connect to an external recorder, so it's nice and clear sound. And while we had the lav mic on him, I forgot to hit record on the audio recorder. So all we had was the audio from the camera mic, which sounded like he was in an echo chamber far, far away. Had to reshoot it. Unfortunately, it wasn't as easy as like, "Hey, let's just redo this interview all over again and it'll be great." This time around, he was uncomfortable, and we were trying to get him to just say the same kind of things that he had said before, but since he had already said it, he couldn't naturally say it without sounding like he's like memorizing it, and he got really nervous and uncomfortable, and the interview wasn't as good. But thankfully, we got through it. The good thing is that, you know, all of the rest of the interviews were wonderful. We were able to recover some of the things that he needed to say so that it still fit in with the edit, and they were happy with the video. But we went through a lot of headache and a lot of stress, and I'm sure the owner was not as happy with us after the second interview experience. We no longer were, you know, that was the best interview and you guys made it so comfortable. Now it was, oh, you guys, next time, hit the record button. Now, every time we do an interview shoot, every time we have a thing where we have to record the audio to the external recorder, we verbally say it to each other. She'll say audio rolling, and I'll say rolling. And then even sometimes as we go through other checks, like, you know, camera rolling, lights good, she'll even double check. You sure audio is recording? And yes, it is. Okay, we're good. And I'll look down and I'll make sure to see that the numbers are moving and the little red dot is going and stuff. And even then, as we're recording the interviews, I'll still peek down and look and make sure, is it still recording? Is it really recording? I have gotten so traumatized by this that I am quadruple checking every single time we record audio. That's just something that I had to learn the hard way, and it turned out fine. And so just know that you can learn from your screw ups. It's not the end of the world. There's ways to fix things, but it's all a learning process. Now, the last screw up that we had when it came to audio really taught us a great lesson, and it's something that I think is going to really help you out. So when we are shooting interviews, we always, ask the client where we can shoot the interviews at. And before, we used to just think about like how it looked, make sure that there's enough space for us to set up our cameras, and is it going to look nice in the background and stuff. One thing that we didn't think about in this particular case is the sound. Like, is it a quiet place that we can conduct an interview at? And so for our client, they found a place that they felt looked good, and it was large enough and comfortable. But unfortunately, it turned out that this location that we were shooting at was under a flight path, where not only commercial airplanes, but also military planes are zooming over, helicopters. Every 10 minutes, a plane would go right above our building. Every 10 minutes, we had to stop the interview and wait for the planes to stop going, to complete and stop making noise. And it was so distracting. And for the interviewee, they would have to stop in the middle of their thought, restart again after, sometimes up to 30 seconds. And they're like, what was I talking about? And it just really threw everything off. And so now moving forward, we always try to make sure that when we are picking a place and a location to conduct these kind of interviews or shoots with audio, that we truly understand everything, not just if it looks good, but also if it's going to be quiet, because as you can see, this could really affect your shoot. So I hope you could learn from some of our audio mishaps and screw ups. And again, just know that screwing up is all part of the process. Just keep on going and know that everything's a learning process. If you have had any audio screw ups yourself, I would love to hear about them, because then maybe it'll make me feel a little better too. So throw in the comment section some of the things that you've screwed up with. If you enjoyed this episode, I hope that you did, and that you give us a like, and also make sure, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to our channel so that way you don't miss any future episodes. There's a little bell here that you can hit that will give you a notification every time we upload a new video, which in this case is every week. And if you have any questions or topics or other types of videos that you want us to cover and make, go ahead and throw them in the comment section. Let us know. We want to be here for you and make this Vimy community thrive. All right, that does it for this week's episode. We'll see you next week on another episode of Video Marketing Made Easy. Bye.